Okay, today is July 21st, 2016, and we're watching the Hawaii water vapor loop. And this is the remnants of Hurricane Darby, which is now approaching the Hawaiian Islands. This storm is actually packing 60-mile-per-hour winds. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the Central Pacific water vapor, or rather the Central Pacific Hurricane Center information right here. So we have Darby, Tropical Storm Darby, which is moving due west at 13 miles per hour. That means it's going to probably plow right over the top of the islands, but I doubt that they will allow these weather operators, these terrorists, will allow Darby to move right over the top of Hawaii. That is not likely to happen because of all the hurricanes last season that were stopped. This is still a fairly powerful storm with 65-mile-per-hour winds and a core pressure of 997 millibar. Now let's go back and take a look at that map here once again. Let's see, it's right here. All right, so we can see that this storm is moving due west, and it's moving along pretty good. But also notice the blast pattern. They are going to kill this thing off, I guarantee you. The storm will not be allowed to get over the islands and cause any damage. And that proves that this is a U.S. operation. The United States is behind what we're seeing in these maps every day here on the Eastern Pacific and Central Pacific Ocean. Let's look here at the infrared loop. We can see the color change as this system is hit. You can see that blast pattern all the way around the periphery there, that icicle pattern. That is the common pattern we see when we have superheated water vapor shooting out at a very high velocity from the core, where the microwaves are targeting the core. All right, now we have the visible light mode next. And of course, we do have some photoshopping here as the day to night transition happens. We can see that right as that occurs, the transition, then we have limited viewability on that core because they've photoshopped with some overlay. And but we do see the blast pattern. That is something that they can't really hide too well. That can't be hidden. Plus the velocity, we can see the shock wave shooting out. Everything here is moving at a sort of at the same velocity. All this flow through here is all moving at, and then we have these high-speed shock waves and blast patterns. So that's something that they can't hide. But so what we're going to see here in the next probably 24 hours, this system will be killed off. By tomorrow, I would expect to see maybe 40-mile-per-hour winds, and just for fun and laughs, they may knock this down to a 35, 40-mile-per-hour gale, and then pass it over the islands and make it appear to be an act of Mother Nature. But I can assure you that these guys are winding this storm down right now. We'll keep an eye on that. All right, let's take a look at some of the other things going on here. Let's go to the big map of the Northeast Pacific, and we can see that we have Darby right here approaching Hawaii. We have, forget what that is. Let's take a look at the map. We have Estelle. That's hurricane, or rather tropical storm Estelle, which has 45-mile-per-hour winds, moving west-northwest at 16 miles per hour. Now these two storms formed this disturbance, this tropical depression, 8E, and Frank have formed today. So we've got Frank. This is a large system, much like Estelle was here about 4 or 5 days ago. Started out as a big system. This system has 50-mile-per-hour winds, moving northwest at 17 miles per hour, core pressure of 1,002 millibar. Let's look at the track that they have forecasted for Frank. And that looks like Frank is going to move right up along the side of the Baja Peninsula. And that is why, folks, that is why we're going to have a heat wave. It has nothing to do with what's going on over Texas. It has everything to do with this storm's track. And so they're building high pressure right over the U.S. Let's see if we can find the proper map. Look at this right over here. Here we go. Here's the western U.S. water vapor loop. These guys are already preparing high pressure over this area to deal with these storms that are down here, particularly Frank, which is, we can see the area there. That's where Frank is starting to gain strength, and we'll move up. And also we see that we have moisture flow heading into California, so we're going to see some more chemtrails tomorrow, probably in the central and possibly southern California area. We can see this large moisture field right here, and this will likely move into central California. We do have a small patch right here, but that is going to be wiped out before it even gets to the coast. This will be completely evaporated by these transmitters out on the Channel Islands. You can see that happening right there. All that moisture is just evaporating. We still have high pressure over Texas, winding all this monsoonal moisture around in a clockwise pattern. You can see that. Today, right now, as a matter of fact, at 10:40 in the foothills of Los Angeles, we have a temperature of 78 degrees, and the relative humidity has risen to 30%. This afternoon, it was around 17%, 16, 17% at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. We have a barometer reading of 29.95 inches, and the dew point is 44 degrees. So we had very hot weather. It was dry and very clear. No clouds anywhere. Whereas yesterday we saw that a big front of chemtrails and clouds move in from the right down from the south. That was a monsoonal flow that was killed off by chemtrails. We're seeing a similar flow here, but this is moving further north into the state. So we'll see chemtrails definitely in the central California and possibly part of Southern California. All right. And notice here again, we see that these monsoonal thunderstorms are not getting into California. They're being blown apart right there on that last frame or two. We can see that area being targeted, and nothing is getting into Southern California. It was 117 degrees today in Palm Springs, 106 in Woodland Hills, which is always very hot. We had 99-degree temperatures again today in the foothills in various areas. I was out on the freeway, several different spots, and it varied between about 97 to about 101 where I was driving around today. All right. So it looks like chemtrails are on the menu for Central California. Definitely, we can see that happening. All right. Let's go take a look at the big map once again. We have, this is Frank over here, and we see high pressure already being installed right here, and that is going to probably block this system. We see this big clearing. They're already preparing the area with this high pressure. And we have the high pressure over Texas. That's still there. We also have a transmitter maintaining some separation through here. As we saw yesterday, it was plowing a path, and that will maintain separation between this low pressure up here, which should be dropping down and giving us cloud cover and possibly some rain. Certainly we should be getting some rain in Southern California from all this, but we have terrorists running our weather, and that's really all I can call them. These guys, these men and women, they're probably mostly guys. The chemtrail jets and the transmitters are completely droughting California, and it's pretty obvious at this point that this is intentional, obviously, and these people don't care. Here's the jet stream. I failed to mention last night that this is a phony map. They're showing some high-speed flow, but in fact, the transmitters created this high-speed flow, as we saw last night, plowing a big division between that upper level low and the monsoonal flow spinning around in the clockwise direction. So we have a big channel of dry air that's been engineered to maintain the separation. Here they're showing it as jet stream flow. That's a lot of baloney, in my view. That's just not accurate. Okay, here's the track for Frank. We saw that. Let's go take a look next at the East Pacific water vapor loop. We can see Frank developing right here. This is a big storm. The storm is being hit with microwave. It's being photoshopped in the visible light mode. We'll take a look at that. And also we have, let's go back to the map once again. Short memory. Here we go. Let's go back. We have 8E. We have Estelle. Estelle is generating some high swells, and we're going to take a look at that in the swell map here a little bit later on. All right, so we have these storms. This is 8E and Frank, so we'll keep an eye on both of those. Here is the visible light loop. We can see the photoshopping over Frank right here. We're trying to hide the microwave blasts. Not very good work. Also, we can see the 8E is receiving microwave attention right here as well. We can see some photoshopping right there. Okay, we saw those maps. Let's take a look at the pressure map. We have the sea level pressure first, and we have low pressure out here, surrounded by high pressure. We have a low all through this area, varying degrees of low pressure right here on the west coast, extending down into Mexico. Now, if you look at the 500 millibar next, we have high pressure installed right on top of that low. We have lows indicated here. This is the mid and upper level low pressure system that should be moving in. That's being blocked by this mid and upper level low pressure. You see the squigglies right here. That's where the transmitters are systematically blowing apart thunderstorms that would otherwise move right into Southern California. Okay, let's take a look next at the 300 millibar map, which is right here. See the high pressure installed all through this area. That will block this cool rainy weather that Washington is getting. We're not getting anything because of these terrorists playing games with these transmitters. Crazy stuff going on, folks. All right, let's look at the, this is the swell map. We can see the ocean swells here. 25 feet right down here. I believe that is Estelle. This is down at 30. This is right near, well, we have 25 feet here. We've got 16 feet in the core of this system here. We have a solid 6-foot swell all through this entire area. 8 feet right here in Southern California. All right, let's take a look next at the SSCC water vapor map. And you can see that we have an area of moisture moving in right here into Southern California, and we can see the chemtrails being sprayed right through here and all through this area. Now, the MODIS Today map is pretty much useless for the last couple of days. It's not even worth looking at. There are some chemtrails visible over Arizona and New Mexico, but it looks like they're not even using the proper maps. They may have inserted a map from last month or something. Who knows? So I'm not going to bother with it. All right, so that is pretty much the report. We've seen these maps. Things are going to stay as they are because there's too much moisture in these thunderstorms to just move this system out. This is not going to be an accurate forecast. They have to rid all these storms before they push this over. So what they're doing is they're installing high pressure right near this developing hurricane, and that will prevent this system from moving north. But it will continue to feed a lot of thunderstorms in this area and provide moisture. And so they're going to keep this high pressure right here. That's not going to go anywhere as far as I can tell. And we'll continue to see the transmitter plowing the path right here to maintain separation. So that will, things are going to stay the same. We're going to have hot temperatures as a result of all of this activity over our state. This transmitter is scanning back and forth and maintaining fairly hot temperatures and clear skies. All right, that's it.